Welcome back, everybody, to the A to Z coaster of the week, I guess, champion. So, we took every single coaster, A to Z, voted for the best, and we came up with this cool bracket, which had 26 of the A to Z coasters, the winners of those, plus 6 wild cards that hadn't already won. And that led us up to the final two of Lightning Rod versus Voyage. And you guys voted last week. It was very close. About 48% of the votes went to the inferior coaster, and 52 went to the superior coaster. And that superior coaster was, oh man, it was, Voyage at Holiday World. Pretty cool ride. I think it's about 3 times as long duration-wise as Lightning Rod, and that's probably the main reason why this thing is so much better. Honestly, because if Lightning Rod were 3 times longer, I'd probably vote for Lightning Rod. But, Lightning Rod is a pretty awesome, insane ride. But Voyage, I mean, come on. This thing's long as hell, super big and tall and awesome. So much laterals and intensity and some airtime. Just an awesome ride. Probably the most intense wooden coaster in the world. Just awesomeness. Cool. But I didn't want that to be just this video, so we're gonna finish up the listing all the wooden coasters. I know I probably did most of these with the final ultimate wooden coaster list that just took every single random wooden coaster I hadn't already listed. But this is gonna look at some defunct wooden coasters, so that's pretty cool. So I figured I would end off the wooden coaster list series by doing this, so that's pretty cool. We got Starliner at Miracle Strip Amusement Park, which was, you guys probably know this as Starliner, obviously, at Legoland, Florida. It operated there for I think 2 years. But man, this thing's awesome because of Buzz Bar. That's right, it's a good old PTC out and back, something similar to Swamp Fox, which is why it's probably so dope. There's one really nice small hill on this ride that has some super sick airtime with those buzz bars. Looks so good. And man, it's a bummer that this ride, apparently it's still standing. I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's in storage somewhere. That's what it is. Yeah. So yes, and obviously Cypress Gardens is now Legoland, Florida. So that's pretty neato. Cool. Let's move on. We got Dania Beach Hurricane. This is a Coaster Works out and back that used to operate at Boomers in Dania Beach. So it's one of those arcade type places, whatever. But they had this awesome wooden coaster that probably had some sick ejector. Some weirdly shaped hills, actually. So, very cool ride. I like the layout. Pretty similar to a CCI. But I feel like the Coaster Works might have made, if CCI were to make this, it probably wouldn't have been as good. Because Coaster Works, just the way that they, banked everything, it was really cool. And I just love the layout. Love everything about this coaster. Check out a point of view. Super cool. Yeah, there you go. And another Coaster Works was Thunder Eagle at Race World in Pigeon Forge. So this opened in 2000, but only operated for a year and a half. It was torn down in 2003. So it's basically more of a tamer wooden coaster from what I've heard. There are no point of views of this, but I know we've seen the layout. We kind of just know that it wasn't very good. I read a lot about this coaster actually, and didn't seem to be the best coaster in the world, obviously. So it's not one of those hidden gem wooden coasters. It was just kind of there for 2 years. But then, strangely, in 2006, it was relocated over to some park near Montreal. It was north of Montreal in 2006, but it was never built for some reason. And there's probably some reasoning behind that. You can check out RCDB. And then what's even more interesting is that 5 years later, it was used as part of Zippin' Pippin' over at Bay Beach Amusement Park in Green Bay, that awesome Gravity group. So they used parts. So basically, it was moved twice from Tennessee to Montreal to Green Bay. That sort of thing doesn't happen too often, and then I think it's really interesting. And it's a bummer that it wasn't rebuilt. And yeah, pretty cool. All right, moving on. We got the new Wilder Wild Mouse at Lagoon, which is a really sweet looking wooden Wild Mouse, which pays homage to. I actually didn't plan on this. I actually made these slides a few months ago. But anyway, the Wild Mouse that was demolished over at Blackpool. So that really stinks that was torn down. But anyway, this is the new Wilder Wild Mouse, which actually replaced the original old wooden Wild Mouse but then was replaced by the steel Wild Mouse that is still there today, which is a bummer because the new Wild Mouse looks so much better than any other Wild Mouse I've ever seen. And also, I mean, really, this ride just looks so dope. I'm pissed off. I mean, the name especially. I mean, the new Wild Mouse, can't go wrong with that. So yeah, it's really a bummer that there are only 3 wooden wild mice still operating in the world. We need more. There's 2 in Indonesia and 1 in Australia. We need more. So some kind of manufacturer's got to come out here and be like, yo, dog, we need more of these, all right? I just dropped something. We need more, all right? So let's move on. We got Tornado at Wedgwood Village. You've never heard of this coaster, and that's totally okay because this ride is pretty irrelevant. It was a PTC out and back, but what's most interesting about this coaster, a coaster that nearby, this is in Oklahoma City, so nearby in Oklahoma City there was coaster Big Dipper that was taller than Tornado, and they were like, yo, dog, we gotta increase this. So what they did was they took the drop and made it like 14 feet taller, and that was pretty cool, but it still wasn't good enough, and it was closed in 69, so that was a bummer. But parts of this coaster were actually moved to a coaster over at Petticoat Junction in Panama City, Florida, that operated in 1984, so that's pretty neat. So bummer that none of these coasters are still operating. I really wish I was born in like 1960, not because of the old wooden coasters, but I mean, really, it is because of the old wooden coasters. I honestly, I just love the PTCs. I wish that they all weren't demolished. A lot of them are still demolished. So that's a bummer. This is some solid commentary. Thanks for watching. Mr. Twister at Illich Gardens. So a lot of people don't even know, but Illich Gardens in 1995 was moved from one location in Denver to another. And I'm not sure why that they made this change, but all I know is that it's really, really unique. It's a very unique story. So they had Mr. Twister. This is the original Twister, you know, because now we have Twister 2 over at Illich Gardens. So anyway, this is made by PTC. It is a Twister coaster model, so it's very similar to like what you might find at Twister at Knoebels, and it's also similar to Twister 2 at the current Illich Gardens, obviously. So, but what I also found very interesting with this coaster is that it was called, like, when it opened in 64, people thought it was tame. So they added a bunch to the ride the next year and added to the height and added some other turns and drops and craziness to it, and it was awesome. So that's pretty cool, and operated for 30 years. So cool ride, and hopefully Twister 2 gets RMC'd soon, because that thing's a piece of crap ride. Anyway, so I figured I gotta be up to date with the wooden coasters. I've already listed every one now, including some defunct ones, which it's pretty interesting. So I figured we should keep up to date, list all the new wooden coasters that have opened. I haven't yet listed Jungle Dragon at Happy Valley Chongqing. This thing looks way better than the other GCI that opened. Desert Rally. This thing is like basically Python and Bamboo Forest, except basically the same. It's actually a little bit smaller, but it's got everything that you would ever want in a GCI. I'd say it's top 3 GCI for sure. This thing looks awesome. Check out a point of view. Really cool ride. Anyway, that was my video. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys later.